one of the topics that I'm going to talk about as a continuation about laning phase and talking about the sort of subjects you need to win laning phase is priority. We didn't go over it much yesterday, but priority basically means who has the right of way in lane. And so if you'll notice from that last match I included with Ari versus Lux, Lux has the priority in the lane, which means that she's able to set the pace of the lane, she's able to manage the wave the way she wants, and put it in a place that's advantageous for her, and as well as farm freely without much risk of the jungler or putting me at risk where I have to be in range of her skill shots in order to farm. Now, Kat's is probably the most important champion to learn priority against because she's a champion with no priority until her dagger starts spawning, in which case you need to be able to shift priority back and forth so that you're able to effectively lane against her. And I'm playing Vlad. Vlad's an easier champion to pick into Cat because he gets tankier than most mages, but because he's still a mage, he's going to get comboed out really quickly. You're going to see that I have a few missteps in which I do eat daggers because I get too overconfident, but I still have priority of the lane, and I'm still able to use that to win the lane. Now, while we're talking about priority, level 1, Vlad has it in all circumstances because Cat cannot effectively trade. Her Q is very weak early, she cannot auto-attack harass, and so if she wants to farm at all, she has to put herself at risk of the minions. I'm going to freeze the wave right where it is. I'm only going to last hit because I want to make sure that she cannot get to the wave without taking damage. I missed a few because I'm kind of on my phone at the same time that, for the first part of the match, but yeah, concept's still there. Don't be on your phone while you're playing, it's rude to everyone else. So I put it down, immediately start trading with her anytime I notice she's going into the CS. Forcing her to use her Q, because if she can't trade with me, or she's using it to farm, she can't trade with me. And this is how I maintain priority. She cannot trade with me, and so she takes free damage anytime that she wants to go up to farm. And so I'm going to let the wave continue pushing towards my side because that's going to keep her from effectively being able to farm. I get a little too close with this one, so I take a good chunk of damage. Luckily the tower's there and her cooldowns are down. Because her cooldowns are down, I'm able to effectively trade with her and still poke her down while she's running away. And you need to be able to use that, otherwise you're going to run out of a lot of trades, especially with melee champions, the loser. And because I'm able to do that and poke her down, make sure that she's not got enough health, she can't go in on the Maokai, and so that ends up becoming a neutral trade instead of a lost trade. Which is good for me, because if you're playing a champion that scales up better, you're going to want to make sure that no matter what, you keep farming with as little negative repercussions as possible. If you get positive effects, like if you're playing Victor and you land a kill in lane, that's good, but realistically, against like top tier players, you're not going to be getting those kills, and so you need to be sure that you're just farming and maintaining that gold value. I give up the CS up there because I know that I can't trade with her daggers right now, I'm too low. But she gets too close, and now I'm there, so I'm able to pick up the kill. Right now in lane, she has 8 CS and I have 20, so I'm going to keep pushing and I'm going to further that lead. This is absolutely crucial. With Katarina, she has a strong mid game, so you want to make sure she's relevant for as little as possible. Make sure she falls behind. That's probably the most important thing you can do for your team. Immediately after getting back to lane, Cat makes a big mistake. If you can't tell, she starts pushing and letting the wave push. If you're falling behind in that matchup, especially if you're an assassin, one of the things that assassins do well is they can effectively trade with you in longer parts of the lane. If they've got the wave pushed up on their side, that's why you keep it on your side, because if they have it on that long side of theirs, they're able to run you down and deal a lot of damage to you. That's why, or like if you're playing against LeBlanc, she's going to jump out and she's going to double chain you, and there's nothing you can do to get away. Zed's going to combo you and then pop up to a shadow and start auto attacking you because his auto attacks hurt more, and so you want to make sure that they don't have the wave on their side. And Cat had that, but she immediately upon entering lane, she messed up by pushing the wave back to me. So she's not going to recoup her losses from that death. If we go back to me, I'm able to get almost the entirety of the wave. And so I'm up about 30 CS to her 15. That's super important. I tank a few daggers because I'm not careful. You gotta be careful, because once you do that, you give her priority, and she's able to roam now. She's able to go out and get vision. That's something you want to avoid. You want to make sure that she's stuck in the lane with you. However, despite her advantage, she's going to continue to push. However, she did win the trade, and now I'm forced to back off. If Maokai wasn't there right now, I would not be staying to Turtle. I would have to back. But because he's there and because she's pushing into me, I'm able to farm up, get the CS, get the experience. And that's honestly the most important thing about the game. You want to make sure you're in lane as long as possible, getting as much CS and as much gold as you can. And after a few waves, I'm now up to higher health than she is. She focuses on the farm still, and I'm able to use that to not only burn her flash, but kill her as well. And so that's why priority is important. I went from a lane where you're against a big lane bully while she's got daggers on the field, to winning the matchup 2-0 because I was able to focus on keeping the lane the way I wanted it to and using that to my advantage. That's probably one of the most important lessons you can learn about laning phase.